Okay, I know that was a lot on the other side, but we're going to continue to practice. Remember, you should have finished this side. Check in with me, make sure you're doing the right answers, and let's go ahead and actually start using SOHCAHTOA to solve problems. So I'm going to remember, if I've got SOHCAHTOA, that's how I remember it. So that means that the sine is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of the angle is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. And then tangent of the angle is going to be opposite over adjacent. So I'm going to use this as I go ahead and solve my problems here. And let me grab my calculator really fast. I got to make sure you guys can solve this on a calculator, okay? So let's go ahead and look here. What do we know in problem 4? Well, in problem 4, we know that we have this angle 28. So that is going to be our perspective. So if you need to turn it, I notice that I have the opposite. And I notice that I also have a number here on my adjacent. Hypotenuse. So I know that 19 is my hypotenuse. Since this is opposite, it's across from, this is my opposite. I notice that I have an O. I have information about O, and I have information about H. I have my opposite, my hypotenuse. Which one of these uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine does. Notice O and H. So that means I'm going to write sine. And I know we say sine, it looks like it's sin, but it's sine. We just don't write the E. I'm going to write that 28 degrees because that's my angle. Now it is equal to my opposite is x, and my hypotenuse is 19. So now I have my equation. If I want to find the length of this side, I just have to solve for x. So you have to remember way back to Math 1A. If I want to isolate the variable, I need to multiply this by 19 so that these cross cancel. They become 1s. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I'm going to multiply this side by 19. Now, fortunately, calculators do all the work for us. Here we go. Clear. I have 19 times. There is a sine button right there. See how it says sine? I'm going to hit sine, and I'm just going to hit 28. And then hit equals. My answer is 8.9. So x is 8.9. What that means is this side is 8.9 units. And we have solved our problem. Let's go ahead and do a second one. Okay, notice in this one, here is my angle. So I always circle my angle that I know. I know this one. So now I'm going to look from this perspective. I know my opposite. So notice that I have an opposite here, because it's opposite of the angle that I'm looking at. Then I notice that this one is touching, right? So this one is touching. It's a leg, and it's touching my angle. And since it's touching my angle, it is adjacent. Now I notice I have the O and I have the A. So let's come back over here to SOHCAHTOA. Which one has the O and the A? It is the tangent. Notice that tangent is opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. I'm going to write tan instead of tangent. Remember, we write shortcuts. My degree is 41 degrees. And then I have to write my opposite. My opposite is x over my adjacent, which in this case is 32. So now I have a problem to solve. I want to get x by itself, so I'm going to multiply this side by 32 and cross cancel. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So now I'm going to go ahead and type in. Oops. I've got 32 times tangent 41. And my x is equal to 27.8 units. So the length of this side is now 27.8 units. Okay, go ahead and try a few on your own. Check in with me if you need help.